Hello friends and welcome to the Secrets of Life, and today's my topic is change yourself so the world will change. Introduction. If there is scar on the face, then what is wrong with the mirror? Rather than murmuring or clearing the mirror, we should focus on the face itself. Life is also like that. Instead of searching for happiness in others, instead of searching for yourself, life becomes alive. Professor Suman Bajpayi's article. An interesting story is that once a king became very sick. Many of the doctors have been shown, but no one has ever seen his disease. Then a doctor advised that the king could be right in the same condition if he only saw green color. The king made everything green. From the color of the palace to the clothes, even food was eaten green. Once a monk passed through it, and looking at the green legacy on every side, he asked the people about this reason. Then he found out about the king's disease. This knowing, he went to the king and said, "King, what kind of things will you turn green? It is not possible to change everything. It would be better if you wear green glasses, then you will see everything green." Every person is self-architect of his life. He creates what he wants. However, many times after making it, he realizes that he has not liked what he has created, and instead of making changes in it, it seems to convince others. In fact, nothing changes until we change ourselves. If the glasses of life are worn only if it is worn, then it is natural to have beautiful color palpitations. It is natural to realize the prick of thorns in the eyes of flowers. Annoying. Most people are troubled and angry because of the behavior and thoughts of other people, and thus they not only waste their time but also spend energy. In the end, what is the hand of them? After all, why do we feel we can change others? Even the other thoughts will be independent of us like that. But instead of believing, we often say, "How can he say that?" Or, "How can he be so harsh?" Or, "He must have never realized that he had a problem." How much have you been hurt? We say and listen to many of these like this. We therefore react like this because we behave emotionally according to our emotional needs rather than logical and practical. So when someone else attacks our emotional needs, then we react in a manner that is inappropriate in the eyes of others. According to Ritu Gangwani, personality architect LT, expecting someone else in the world or expecting this from him makes very bad and negative situations. That's because every person is different. Even the twins have a different way of thinking, behavior, and way of living. We all are a designer piece, whose attitude to look at everything is different from the other. In such a situation, when we try to adapt to someone else, it is not necessary that he is right. It is a natural thing to have a different view of every person's things, and in such a way, the other person's thoughts will bolster his viewpoint. Do not bump into relationships or create differences. It would be better to change yourself. Do not blame others. There is no magic wand to change the behavior or thinking of another person, so when you say that he did not want to do it, or if he does not believe that he can do it, then before saying it, take a moment to curb your thoughts and examine the behavior of others from the perspective of others. Then you will stop deciding on someone's behavior or thinking. On the day you start deciding on others' minds, you will start determining your thinking. From that day the world will be changed and beautiful for you. According to Dr. Psych Burmese, senior psychologist, today, the psychology or thinking of a person is more controlled by external conditions and less by internal conditions. People have started wanting to fulfill their responsibilities some other and want to remain away from responsibilities themselves. The reason for this is that nowadays the levels of stress and insecurity have increased very much and the level of self-esteem has decreased. That is why they also put the responsibility to change themselves. Keep right thinking. If we are unhappy, then there is a direct meaning that we are doing something wrong, and instead of finding a solution, things are getting worse. Rajashri Thakur, a small screen actress, believes that if you are right, then the solution for the problems is solved by herself. He says, every person has one according to his position, and it is difficult for him to change himself according to some other, so when others expect to change from him, misunderstandings are created and the relationship is broken. Come on the brink. The right thing is that harmony should be established according to the conditions of the other. Things look different when changing the approach. Negative things seem to be positive, and people appear to be virtuous instead of deficiencies. Every one of us must have experienced this thing at some time, but even then, when the expectations begin to dominate us, then we try to change others, and the world is not only bad but ours, the people around, are also miserable. The correct thinking shows the right direction, then the world is changed and it seems to be of your own accountability. Need analysis of yourself. We should analyze ourselves. We need to know about our strengths and their strengths and areas where there is a need to improve. To assess, there should be a balance between the heart and the mind, as well as a sort of lifestyle. By making our assessment in depth, we can move in the right direction and get a positive outlook. As soon as our attitude towards our attitude changes, the world will look good. Life is like a mirror, the way we look at it, it comes back to us in the same way. Quote, so, for betterment, when it is not possible to change someone else, then changing itself is the only option. To make it useful and favorable even in poorly conditioned condition, only need to change its attitudes. Your thinking determines how things will be shaped. Then what is the use of negative thinking? Rather, when you begin to think positively and take responsibility for your own mistakes, sometimes losing and disappointment also starts working in your favor. Taking responsibility is to stop blaming the world for its problems and sorrow. Instead of conforming the world to your own accord, change your thoughts. Your thinking will be molded in a positive way and there will be no complaints from the world.